evening, viewers. As the Afghanistan crisis deepens, fears of a massive humanitarian crisis continue. We also have a big concern here in India, and that is about getting all of our citizens safely back to our country. Now, we've been continuously bringing you voices of Indians who are still stranded there, hiding in various places, attempting to go to the airport, which is a very dangerous place right now, appealing to the government to come to their rescue, really clueless about how to go about it. The government, though, in a series of statements over the last few days, has said that we've been issuing travel advisories for Indians in Afghanistan. Those already in Afghanistan were urged to return. This was, of course, before the final onslaught by the Taliban as they completed their takeover. Government also said a number of Indians are stranded in that country. Some Indians are employed by third country organizations. And our immediate priority is to obtain information about all Indians, which essentially means that even now we are not very clear how many of such Indians are there, stranded. Where? How did they get there? Who were they working for? How do we get them back now? That is what information government seems to be collecting right now in coordination with the cell in Afghanistan, a special Afghanistan cell of the MEA. What we do know is, for example, there were 200 Indians working for a security service in Kabul who are stranded there. We spoke to them. There was another set of 140 Indians huddled near the airport who tried going there on the first day when there was so much chaos and violence. And they're still there, unsure but trying every day to somehow get to the airport, enter the airport, which is not possible right now, and the flights aren't even running. We do know that even the Kerala government has backed out 41 of their own state people, stranded Keralites, and written to the central government about getting them back. We know similarly from Bengal there are at least 7 people who are stranded there. These are some bits and pieces of information that are there, enough to tell you that there are still hundreds of Indians stranded in Afghanistan. That is one aspect of what we are going to talk about. But here's the larger question that we want to discuss. What is the government's plan to rescue these stranded Indians, especially in the light of the fact that right now we don't have a say on the Kabul airport operations. Commercial flights aren't even running. Second aspect, and again, we've been speaking to students across India, Afghan students across India, who are now asking the government to help them extend their visa, however which way it can be done. So many of them have financial difficulties now. They obviously cannot go back to their country right now. Students from Afghanistan studying here. Now, there is an e-visa facility that has been extended for people in Afghanistan. The government says on an emergency basis that facility is being extended. But will that be feasible? How many people will actually be able to access it, provide the documentation to get here? So it is complicated, but it is also important. Tonight here on the Urban Debate, we bring to you voices of families whose loved ones are stranded. We'll also bring to you some of the voices of people who are still in Afghanistan. We'll talk to journalists who've returned from Afghanistan, who were covering the crisis there and have now been evacuated from there yesterday. We'll also talk to the experts on what should be the policy. So tonight we're going to focus on real on-ground people issues that link directly to our country. And let me say good evening to those who are joining me right now. Maitri Sinha, daughter of Mr. Sinha, along with Sheetal Sinha, Maitri's mother. Mr. Sinha is stuck in Afghanistan. I also have Shubhajit Roy, Associate Editor and Deputy Chief of National Bureau for Indian Express. Shubhajit's returned from Kabul just yesterday. Ravi Kumar Malik, working in a private company in Kabul since 2010. Ravi is also joining us from Kabul right now. We'll also have a few of the Afghan students joining us in just a bit. But first up, let me go across to the Sinhas. Sheetal ji, namaskar. Thank you for speaking to us. क्या आपकी बात हो पाई है आपके हस्बैंड से? आखिरी बार कब बात हुई थी और अभी क्या है जहाँ पे वो हैं वो सेफ हैं?
हाँ मैम, वो अभी एयरपोर्ट पे चले गए, अंदर हैं, अभी तो सेफ ही हैं वहां पे।
जी, वो कितने साल से या कितने समय से वहाँ काम कर रहे थे?
मैम 9 साल से वो वहीं पे है, अफगानिस्तान में, काबुल में।
और वो एक वहाँ पे प्राइवेट कंपनी के लिए काम करते हैं?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
जी
जिनका कंपनी है उनकी, उसमें वो काम करते हैं।
जी जी। तो अभी एयरपोर्ट में वो सेफली अंदर पहुंच चुके हैं क्या? सरकार के द्वारा उनको ले जाया गया है? किस तरीके से एंट्री मिली, क्योंकि कल से तो बहुत मुश्किल हो रही है किसी को भी अंदर जाने में।
हाँ जी मैम, रजिस्ट्रेशन वगैरह हुए थे उनके कल, तभी इसी वजह से वो अंदर जा पाए हैं। बाकी अभी तो बाकी का मुझे मैसेज आया था सिर्फ कि वो अभी अंदर गए हैं, बाकी का कुछ पता नहीं है, फ्लाइट वगैरह कब आएगी, कब जाएंगे।
जी। और किस तरीके से, अगर आपकी बात हो पाई है उनसे, वो एयरपोर्ट तक पहुंच पाए? पिछले कुछ दिनों में कैसा रहा उनका सफर? वो काबुल में कहाँ पे थे और इतने दिन किधर फिर रह रहे थे?
मैम वहीं गेस्ट हाउस में ही थे वो, जहाँ जॉब करते थे वहीं रह रहे थे वो अभी तक। वहां से वो कल सुबह ही मॉर्निंग में निकले हैं, आज सुबह। तो काफी टाइम बाद उन्हें एंट्री मिली अंदर, 12-1 बजे के बाद ही वो अंदर जा पाए हैं, उससे पहले बाहर ही थे वो।
और पहले जब सरकार ने कहा था कि लोगों को जिनको वापस आना है वो आ सकते हैं, क्या उनको उस बारे में पता था कि ऐसे सरकार ने कहा है कि लोगों को वापस आ जाना चाहिए? और क्या कोशिश की थी उन्होंने उस समय?
मैम वैसे तो काबुल में तो सेफ ही था, इतने जल्दी इतना सब कुछ हो जाएगा ये इसका वो कोई वो नहीं था उनको, कि उनके जो सीनियर थे उन्होंने भी बोला कि यहाँ पे अभी सेफ है, तो इसलिए रिजाइन वगैरह मत दो, अभी बोला भी है उन्होंने, दे दिया था, फिर वापस लेने के लिए बोला, फिर वापस भी ले लिया, फिर अचानक ही काफी हो गया, काबुल में कब्जा हो गया। तो इस वजह से फिर वो, उन्होंने तो आना ही था, वैसे भी 17 तारीख की फ्लाइट थी उनकी, वो फिर कैंसिल हो गई थी। फिर फिर वो वहीं रुके, फिर कल रजिस्ट्रेशन वगैरह हुए उनके, फिर आज सुबह वो मॉर्निंग में वहां से निकले और एयरपोर्ट के लिए, वहां दिन भर बाहर ही रहे हैं। 12-1 बजे उन्हें अंदर आने की एंट्री मिली है।
और अभी कुछ बताया है सरकार की तरफ से कि कब वापस आ पाएंगे, या जब फ्लाइट्स, कमर्शियल फ्लाइट्स शुरू होंगी तभी कुछ हो पाएगा?
मैम सरकार की तरफ से तो ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है मेरे को मालूम,
जी
पर जो भी है फ्लाइट, वहां पे फ्लाइट बताई है उन्होंने, बात मेरी मैसेज में ही हुई थी, क्योंकि वहाँ नेटवर्क की प्रॉब्लम है, इसलिए बात भी नहीं हो पा रही है मेरी सुबह से उनसे ठीक से। तो बोला था अगर शाम की फ्लाइट होगी तो शाम को, नहीं तो एक रात की फ्लाइट भी है वहां, और शाम की 2 फ्लाइटें बताई है उन्होंने।
अच्छा। तो ये उम्मीद है कि कुछ हो पाएगा, वो आज ही या कल आ जाएंगे वापस, ऐसा उन्होंने आपको बताया?
हाँ जी मैम, ये तो बताया है, उम्मीद तो है कि 8-10 घंटे में हो सकता है वो यहाँ इंडिया आ जाए।
जी शीतल जी, उनके साथ और भी लोग होंगे उनकी कंपनी में? कितने ऐसे इंडियंस हैं जो वो लोग साथ में हैं?
मैम साथ में तो मैम वो तो अलग ही जॉब है उनकी, बाकी और भी इंडियंस है वहां पे, डेनमार्क वगैरह वगैरह के,
जी।
जो मेरे रिलेटिव में भी आते हैं, मेरे भाई हैं वहां पे 2।
आपके दो भाई
बाकी
भी हैं वहाँ पे? वो
हाँ जी।
आप तो बहुत ही मुश्किल ये समय रहा है आपके लिए, मतलब आपके हस्बैंड और दोनों भाई सब, पर वो अब साथ में ही हैं? तीनों
जी
लोग
मैम,
एयरपोर्ट पहुंच गए?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पे मतलब वही है, काबुल एयरपोर्ट पे ही है सब। बाकी इंडियंस भी हैं वहां पे, काफी लोग हैं इंडिया के,
हम्म।
और हमारे उत्तराखंड के भी बहुत सारे लोग हैं।
अच्छा। आप यहाँ पे हैं और हमसे बात कर रहे हैं, और मेरी तो बस यही उम्मीद है कि जल्द से जल्द सब लोग, आपके परिवार वाले वापस आ जाएं इंडिया। कोई मैसेज, कोई अपील आपकी सरकार से जो आप करना चाहें अभी?
मैम मैं तो यही बोलना चाहूंगी कि हमारी सरकार से कि वो उन्हें इंडिया में ला दे, सब जितने भी है हमारे उत्तराखंड के हैं और जगह के भी हैं, सब हमारे इंडिया में आ जाए वो, बस सेफ से।
जी शीतल जी, हमसे बात करने के लिए शुक्रिया, और हम भी यही उम्मीद करते हैं कि सब जल्द वापस आ जाएं। Let me go across to Shubhajit, who's also gotten back yesterday. Shubhajit, I want to start off by asking you if you can describe any part of what was happening, what was there at the Kabul airport when you were there.
Yeah, Tanvi, I was at the spot in the airport, and I call it a spot because as a journalist, you go to a story to cover it, to stay on it. And it's not a very easy call to return and go away from a story. So because there was a personal safety, issue, therefore, I returned yesterday with the help of the Indian Embassy. And I intend to go back once the situation normalizes. At the airport, when I reached on Monday morning, that was at about 5 o'clock, 4:50 a.m. to be precise, there was complete chaos. So, just to describe, to give you a scenery, there were hundreds and thousands of people with, families, women, children, just not even, didn't even have passports or tickets or visas. They just packed their bags and just wanted to leave the country. They had come to the airport, just board any flight. And there were 6 armored vehicles that were blocking the access to the airport. And they were manned by Taliban fighters. And Taliban fighters were firing, they were doing aerial firing for every couple of minutes, just to intimidate the crowd and so that scared them to go back. So that immediately told me right now there is no way that I can get inside the airport. My flight was at 11 a.m. Air India flight that day, which got cancelled later. But so I plan to reach at 5 a.m. so that I have enough lead time so that one could get there. But this chaos, and then it turned ugly. Once the tanks, those armored vehicles, they moved and they let the crowd, let the crowd in. The crowd just went inside the airport, and there was chaos and mayhem all over the airport. There were no systems in place. There was nothing. And then to control the crowd, the Taliban fighters first resorted to aerial firing, and then at one point they even shot at people. They did indiscriminatory firing, which was a difficult situation we were in. And so that's how chaotic and lawless the place had become on Monday.
And there must be hundreds of them, thousands maybe at that airport.
Thousands,
all
yeah.
nationals, not just Afghans. People
Yeah.
from all countries, soldiers and army men from different countries.
No, not army men. They were all civilians.
Okay.
Maybe army men, but in civilian clothes. I didn't see any army men. But general, normal civilians, mostly Afghan, some foreigners, but majority of them were Afghans, wanted to get out of the country. So that showed the panic and desperation amongst people that they don't want to live in an era where medieval laws are enforced once again after 20 years. They had just buried the ghosts of that era, and those dark days they didn't want to relive. And that was what the impression I got in the days that I covered from the spot, spoke to scores of people just to get a sense, and just to give you a sense on the streets. So Kabul is a beautiful city with parks. There are a lot of green parks, lush green parks. All these lush green parks were teeming with refugees from parts of Afghanistan where Taliban had already taken control. This happened before they captured Kabul. These refugees had fled Taliban rule and had come to Kabul so that they could be safe. And then I went to the passport office. The passport office was packed. There were queues which were kilometer long, and people were waiting for hours. People were coming for a few days, some said that a week, and they were holding bunch of identity documents, papers, passport application form, and wanted to get a passport done so that they could leave the city. And these scenes told me that how people were desperate to get out of that country for fear that Taliban would come and once again impose those, customs, those laws and conditions where women are not allowed to work or go out, or girls are not allowed to, go to school. So, and I spoke to, for example, a guy who told me, he had, I think, 3 daughters, if I remember correctly. He said, I have a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 16-year-old. What if a Talib fighter comes and they want to marry 3 of my daughters? They're all teenage daughters. So that kind of fear, this was a father who was sort of imagining the worst that can happen to his family. And these are kids who have grown up in a fairly independent Afghanistan, where they could live with their rights intact. So that was the kind of sort of fear and panic that has set in the city in the days leading up to Taliban taking over. I remember one of the instances how I was talking to this school principal who ran a school, a private school, and I was talking to him, and suddenly he realized that Taliban fighters have entered the city. This was on Sunday. And he immediately called and asked all his teachers to leave. I said that why? So he told me that, I have 20 teachers, 16 of them are women, and they're all young women in their 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. So they have to rush back home because this place is no more safe. So
because Taliban is coming, yeah.
Yeah. So this was the kind of fear that was there when once news spread that Taliban fighters have entered the city on Sunday morning. Sunday, close to noon. It was 11:30, 12-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I do have a follow-up question, for you, Shubhaji. Just do stay on with me. But let me also bring in Ravi Kumar Malik. Mr. Malik is in Kabul. He's been working there since 2010. Mr. Malik, have you had any attempts to return? Is there any clarity, or are you going to right now continue there in Kabul?
पहले मैं जो शीतल जी अगर मेरी बात सुन रही है
जी,
तो उनको थोड़ा मैं कन्विंस कर दूं कि मैं सुबह से कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहा हूं एमएचए एंड एमईए के साथ में, और हम लोग प्लान कर रहे हैं इवैक्यूएशन। और इनके जो हस्बैंड एंड ब्रदर हैं जो एयरपोर्ट के अंदर चले गए हैं, उनकी न्यूज़ हमारे पास सुबह मॉर्निंग में आई थी। अभी वो सेफ हैं और एयरपोर्ट के अंदर बैठे हैं, बट उनका कनेक्शन, नेटवर्क कनेक्शन की प्रॉब्लम उनको आ रही है वहाँ पे। तो अब उनका नाम हमारे पास में आ चुका है, जो कि हम इवैक्यूएशन लिस्ट में डाल रहे हैं, और उनको टेंशन लेने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। शीतल जी, अगर आप सुन रही है तो आपके हस्बैंड और आपके जो ब्रदर हैं वो वहाँ पे सेफ है, एंड देयर आर ऑलमोस्ट 90 पीपल इनसाइड एयरपोर्ट राइट नाउ टुवर्ड द मिलिट्री साइड। तो उनको टेंशन लेने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, दे आर सेफ। ओके। सेकंड, जो अभी जो मेरे फेलो फ्रेंड वहाँ पे अभी बात कर रहे थे रिगार्डिंग मंडे को मैं भी वहाँ पे एयरपोर्ट पे था, सिविल साइड पे। हमारे साथ 17 इंडियंस थे और हम लोग वेट कर रहे थे फ्लाइट का। एयर इंडिया की फ्लाइट थी एज यूजुअल। एयर इंडियन पीपल दे सेड दैट फ्लाइट इज कंफर्म एंड यू हैव टू रिपोर्ट टू एयरपोर्ट एट सर्टेन पर्टिकुलर टाइम। तो हम लोग वहाँ पे पहुंचे और वहाँ पे सिर्फ तालिबान था। अंदर जाने के बाद में जो हमें न्यूज आई है, बाहर एयरपोर्ट गेट पे 4 लाख से 5 लाख लोग वहाँ पे वेट कर रहे थे और एयरपोर्ट पे घुसने की प्लानिंग कर रहे थे, सो दैट दे कैन गो टुवर्ड रनवे और वहां पे जाके वो प्लेन का वेट करें। उस दिन मंडे को 20 से 25 लोगों का मतलब शूट आउट हुआ है वहां पे, अमेरिकन की तरफ से और तालिबान की तरफ से, जिसमें कि हम लोग भी वहां पे एयरपोर्ट के अंदर, टर्मिनल के अंदर थे। और जो शूटिंग हो रही थी वो इस लेवल पे शूटिंग चल रही थी कि अमेरिकन और तालिबान वो देख नहीं रहे थे कि उनको मतलब उनके सामने कुछ ऐसे मतलब लोग हैं जो कि मतलब दे आर नॉट एनिमल्स, वो ह्यूमन बीइंग है, वो भूल चुके थे। और इतनी बुरी तरीके से उन लोगों ने उनके ऊपर फायरिंग की है और जिसमें 25 लोग मर चुके हैं। मतलब ये मेरे सामने कंफर्म था क्योंकि उनकी डेड बॉडीज हमारे सामने लेके वो लोग बाहर लेके जा रहे थे। अभी जो सिचुएशन है, कल भी यहाँ पे फायरिंग हुई है। आज मॉर्निंग में फायरिंग चल रही है एयरपोर्ट पे, जो एयरपोर्ट मेन गेट है, जो एंट्री गेट है, वहां पे फायरिंग चल रही है क्योंकि तालिबान जो वहां पे उन्होंने जो पूरा एरिया कवर कर रहे हैं एयरपोर्ट साइड का, मेन गेट का, वहां पे वो लोगों को बाहर भगा रहे हैं। वो नहीं चाह रहे हैं कि लोग अंदर घुसे। और अभी सबको, जितने भी पुलिस पर्सनल है यहाँ पे, उनको सबको उन्होंने वापस बुला लिया है। और हर जो चेक पोस्ट है सिटी के अंदर, वहां पे एक ट्रैफिक पुलिस के लोग खड़े हैं और उनके साथ में एक तालिबान का बंदा खड़ा है जो कि उन सबको कंट्रोल कर रहा है, पूरा ट्रैफिक। तो आज की डेट में पूरा कंट्रोल जो है वो तालिबान के हाथ में है। मॉर्निंग से हम लोग यही प्लान, मतलब हमारी जो कोऑर्डिनेशन हो रहा है होम अफेयर और एक्सटर्नल अफेयर के साथ में, वो यही चल रहा है कि यहाँ पे सिचुएशन डे बाय डे खराब हो रही है। सिविल वॉर की थोड़ी यहाँ पे चांसेस बढ़ रहे हैं बिकॉज जो तालिबान है वो उन्होंने अपने जो रूल्स लिस्ट निकाली है उसमें शायद वो अफगानिस्तान का नेम भी चेंज कर रहे हैं, पासपोर्ट चेंज कर रहे हैं, जो उनका नेशनल आईडी है उसको चेंज कर रहे हैं, फ्लैग चेंज कर रहे हैं। सो देयर आर चांसेस कि यहाँ पे सिविल वॉर स्टार्ट हो जाए कुछ दिनों में।
रवि, मैं आपसे एक बात पूछना चाहूंगी। यू सेड यू आर इन टच विद अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, अबाउट 150 पीपल, उनका इवैक्यूएशन फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए। तो ये लोग कौन है, कहाँ काम कर रहे थे और किस तरीके से आपने उनको इकट्ठा करके ये रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोसेस शुरू किया?
अभी मैडम ये यहाँ पे कुछ मेरे साथ में यहाँ पे होटल में है, लाइक 17 पीपल आर हियर, और कुछ नियर बाई है बिकॉज वी आर स्टेइंग इन सेंटर ऑफ सिटी, दैट्स देयर इज अ प्लेस कॉल्ड शेरनाव, वहां पे हम लोग हैं। और नियर बाई एरिया में हमारे पास में कुछ लोग हैं जो अलग अलग गेस्ट हाउस या होटल के अंदर रुके हुए हैं। और जो 160 जो लिस्ट मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ उसमें 90 इंडियंस भी हैं जो कि अभी एयरपोर्ट पे वेट कर रहे हैं फ्लाइट का।
ओके, और
तो ये
किसी का भी जो ये
हाँ
इवैक्यूएशन है और सेफली उनको बाहर निकालने की बात है, इंक्लूडिंग द 90 इंडियंस, ये कैसे प्रोसेस हो रहा है? उनको वहां ट्रैवल करके एयरपोर्ट में अब एंट्री अलाउड है या गवर्नमेंट इंटरवेंशन चाहिए उसके लिए, या और आर तालिबान ओनली स्टॉपिंग अफगान्स?
नहीं, एंट्री अलाउड नहीं है। एयरपोर्ट का जो मेन रूट है, जो जिस रूट से आप इंटर करते हैं, वो अभी क्लोज है, वहां से आप एंट्री नहीं कर सकते हैं। जो हमारे जो इंडियन फ्रेंड्स हैं जो अभी एयरपोर्ट के अंदर गए हैं, वो मिलिट्री साइड से उनकी एंट्री हुई है और वो वहां पे वेट कर रहे हैं। तो एयरपोर्ट पे एंट्री तो अभी फिलहाल पॉसिबल नहीं है बिकॉज वहां पे फायरिंग भी चल रही है। और जो इवैक्यूएशन है, इवैक्यूएशन की प्लानिंग चल रही है, एम्बेसीज और गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ में है, उनका पूरा सपोर्ट हमें मिल रहा है अभी। और अगर ऊपर वाले ने चाहा तो शायद कल परसों के अंदर हमारे इवैक्यूएशन भी प्लान हो जाए।
ओके, एंड इतने लोगों के लिए जो सप्लाईज की कोई प्रॉब्लम वहाँ पे काबुल में, तो मतलब बोला जा रहा है, विजुअल्स तालिबान ऐसे दिखा रहे हैं कि सब नॉर्मल है स्ट्रीट पे, तो क्या हालत है शहर की?
आज नॉर्मल होना शुरू हुआ है। आज जितने भी शॉप्स थी वो सारी अभी खुलनी शुरू हुई है। पहले यहाँ पे जो 2-4 दिन गए हैं, इनमें ऐसा है कि यहाँ पे सारे जो शॉप्स हैं वो सारी क्लोज हो चुकी थी। जितने भी अफगानी हैं जो अलग अलग कंपनीज या अलग अलग शॉप्स पे काम कर रहे हैं या उनका बिजनेस है, वो सब बंद था और वो अपने घरों में, अलग अलग घरों में छिपे हुए थे। इनफैक्ट मेरे कुछ फ्रेंड्स हैं जो लोकल यहाँ पे, जिनसे मेरे को इन्फॉर्मेशन आ रही है, वो ये है कि जो गवर्नमेंट के अंदर काम कर चुके हैं, जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स थे पहले इन पास्ट गवर्नमेंट, वो सारे अब एवरी डे दे आर चेंजिंग देयर रेसिडेंट। आज अगर वो एक जगह पे है तो कल उनको घर चेंज करके दूसरी जगह जा रहे हैं। बिकॉज यहाँ पे जो है वो तालिबान क्या कर रहा है, वो हर घर में जाके वो चेक कर रहा है कि कौन क्या किस पोजीशन पे काम कर रहा था, पहले क्या काम कर रहा था, अभी क्या कर रहा है। वो सारी मतलब इनका एक तरीके से सर्च ऑपरेशन चल रहा है अभी।
रवि, बने रहिए मेरे साथ। आई वांट टू गो बैक टू शुभजीत एज वेल ऑन दिस। शुभजीत, can you also add to this, because there have been some reports that have emerged that not just in other parts of Afghanistan where they took charge earlier, but even in Kabul, this kind of a door-to-door exercise is taking place to really note down, and that's where a lot of fear is also stemming from. They're noting down details of even women who've been working, working women, and marking those houses.
Well, this was the fear when on the ground, when I was talking to women on the ground in Kabul. I remember talking to one of a small-time TV actress who, she used to do a lot of ad films. So she said, I lived my life in the last, and she was 31 years old. So she said that, she was very young when Taliban rule happened in 96 to 2001. And she said that I grew up in a fairly independent Afghanistan where I could wear makeup, I could go out to work, I educated myself. She had even lived in India for a while. And now she was working in Afghanistan. She said that I don't want to again sit at home and not go to work. So I will resist, and I will sort of, I will resist this particular oppression come what may. So this kind of a attitude or approach has been there in one complete generation of Afghans who are in the 20s and 30s. They have grown up in a much more social media rich environment than what was available in 96. And therefore, their expectations, their aspirations are different. So to mark houses or to target these people is something that they were scared of, and they're afraid of when before Kabul fell, and even when the Kabul fell, because they were worried that something like this would happen.
Yes, and I'm very curious to understand, especially those who ran away from other parts of the interiors of Afghanistan and got to Kabul hoping that this is where they'll be safe. Had they seen any recent instances of what Taliban was up to? And I ask this question because, yes, while we are getting, few reports here and there of what they're doing on ground, their attempt by Taliban to the world is to show, look, we're different. We're not the same. We're very welcoming. Come work in the government, get back to the banks, women can get back to work. You're all safe. Media houses can function as they want. But what's happening in the interiors then?
Well, so Taliban has controlled, it went on its campaign, it captured North, and then, moved to the other areas. And it has sort of made these right noises that we will let women work and girls study, so that they have made those sort of, lofty announcements. Now, the real issue is that whether they live up to the commitments and the statements that they have made on the ground. Because people are afraid, people are scared. And that was evident as I met many people, that they didn't trust the Taliban on their word. They wanted them to show it in action. And see, Afghanistan of 1996 and Afghanistan of 2021 are different. Afghanistan of 2021 is not the same as Afghanistan of 1996. So people have different ambition, different aspirations, and change, and they will resist this particular Taliban. So if Taliban has now grabbed power and it has to govern. And if it wants to govern a country as diverse and as large and also as poor as Afghanistan, it has to mend its ways, and it has to not be the Taliban of 1996. So that's why you see the statements that they're making, because they have to calibrate, they have to sort of make amends in their posture. In the interiors, we have heard reports that how women are being fired from the banks, they've stopped going, or they've been asked not to come. Some places, the warlords or the local Talib fighters have prevented people from going to schools. So we'll have to see how the regime, the new regime there, what kind of structures, political structures they come up with. You know, who do they include? Whether they include women in the cabinet, whether they include women in the council of advisors they appoint,
Right.
whether they have Tajiks and Uzbeks, the people from different communities in the governance structures. So those will be indicators to us that in what direction. Because also remember, Taliban understands that in 1996, when their government was, their regime was in place, they were recognized by only 3 countries. Now they want international recognition, they want legitimacy. So they are kind of also doing this to gain that legitimacy. I think that question should be still open for all sort of diplomatic, the entire diplomatic world, that how they behave on ground at their home, what do they do with people of Afghanistan should determine how the world should behave with the Taliban regime.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And that's what I think we all need to wait and watch before anybody starts taking any decisions on how to treat Taliban. Shubhajit, thanks so much for joining me and sharing your insights. And I'm glad you're back home safe. And I do hope someday you're able to go back again and bring us some more stories. Thank you for joining us. Ravi Malik, I want to come back to you. हमें बहुत अलग अलग रिपोर्ट्स मिली हैं, कहीं पे 100 लोग, कहीं पे 50 लोग इंडियंस जो स्ट्रैंडेड है. क्या कोई जो लोग वहाँ पे हैं या उनकी फैमिलीज ये शो देख रही होंगी, उनको कुछ आप बता सकते हैं कि क्या प्रोसेस से जाएं वो, कि रजिस्टर हों या किसी के गवर्नमेंट के टच में आए? एयरपोर्ट के बाहर खड़े रहना भी बड़ा मुश्किल है इस समय. कहाँ पे जाए और क्या करें?
मैडम, मैं आपके थ्रू ये मैसेज सबको देना चाहूंगा. अगर किसी को इवैक्यूएशन रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना है, एमईए ने अपनी ईमेल आईडी जो अफगानिस्तान सेल है वो, और उसमें एक हेल्प डेस्क ईमेल आईडी है, वो उन्होंने शेयर की है. आप चेक कर सकते हैं, ट्वीट भी किया है थोड़े दिन पहले एमईए ने. आप उस पर रजिस्ट्रेशन कर सकते हैं. अगर किसी को प्रॉब्लम हो रही है उनके कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स लेने में, सो दे कैन कॉन्टैक्ट मी ऑल्सो. और यहाँ पे जितने भी अफगानिस्तान में इंडियन सभी है, अभी ऑलमोस्ट सबके साथ मेरा टच हो चुका है और सबसे मेरी बात चल रही है. और उनको टेंशन लेने की कोई बात नहीं है. यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ में है. इवैक्यूएशन बहुत जल्दी प्लान हो रहा है और हमारी जो भी प्लानिंग होगी वो सारे इंडियंस के साथ में एक साथ में शेयर होगी और एक साथ इवैक्यूएशन प्लान होगा.
ओके. एंड किस तरीके का एयरपोर्ट में चल रहा है फिलहाल ऑपरेशंस, उसके कोई आपको खबर? क्योंकि जैसे पहले शुभजीत हमें बता रहे थे मंडे तक तो वहाँ पे बहुत केओस था जब आप भी थे वहाँ पे, पर अब भी जब इतने सारे लोग हैं वहाँ पे, खाना पीना अरेंजमेंट कोऑर्डिनेशन, कौन कहाँ पे है, वो कैसे हो रहा है?
अभी जो मेरी सिविल एविएशन अथॉरिटी है यहाँ पे अफगानिस्तान में, उनसे मेरी बात हुई है. तो एयरपोर्ट ओपन हो चुका है. अंदर जो प्रॉब्लम्स थी, जितने भी लोकल्स, ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 50,000 to 60,000 अफगानीज जो अंदर जा चुके थे, उनको सबको तालिबान ने बाहर निकाल दिया है. एयरपोर्ट अभी बिल्कुल खाली है. जो टर्मिनल एरिया है या फिर एयर साइड या लैंड साइड एरिया है, वहां पे कोई भी लोकल अफगानी अभी नहीं है. वहां पे सिर्फ तालिबान कंट्रोल है. मिलिट्री साइड पे ऑपरेशन अभी चल रहे हैं, क्योंकि जो एयर स्पेस था वो अभी ओपन कर दिया गया है. पहले क्लोज कर दिया था यूएस आर्मी ने, और एयरपोर्ट ओपन हो चुका है. जस्ट बिकॉज यहाँ पे जितने भी लोग जब अंदर घुसे थे मंडे को, और उन्होंने जो तोड़फोड़ मचाई है वहां पे, उसकी वजह से वहां पे पूरा सिस्टम खत्म हो चुका है. तो सिविल एविएशन अथॉरिटी ने अभी आज मॉर्निंग में भी उन्होंने सर्कुलर इशू किया था, और उसमें उन्होंने सबको, जितने भी जो ऑफिशियल्स और जो स्टाफ वहां पे काम कर रहा था, उन सबको उन्होंने वापस बुलाया है. और जो क्लीनिंग प्रोसेस है वो स्टार्ट हो चुका है एयरपोर्ट पे. जो सिस्टम्स का जो डैमेज हुए थे, उनको रिप्लेसमेंट का प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो चुका है. तो जो सिस्टम पहले चल रहा था, उस सिस्टम को, जो प्रॉपर एक फ्लाइट ऑपरेशन सिस्टम था, उसको दोबारा से स्टैब्लिश करने का प्रोसेस चल रहा है. एंड जो जहां तक मेरे सोर्स मुझे बता रहे हैं, शायद पॉसिबल है दैट बाय एंड ऑफ दिस मंथ डोमेस्टिक ऑपरेशन भी स्टार्ट हो जाए।
ओके रवि कुमार मलिक, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए, और उम्मीद है कि आप और काफ़ी लोगों की मदद करके उनको सेफली अपने देश भेज सके। थैंक यू फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस। आई वांट टू गो अक्रॉस टू नाउ टू स्टूडेंट्स, Afghan students who've been here in India and who've been studying here. Humayun Batur, who's been studying in Delhi, and Mohammad Javed, of course. Mohammad Javed was with me a couple of days ago. Also, he's studying in Pune. Javed, Pune ke kafi students went and met even the Maharashtra government here, the minister here, seeking help. What is it that all of you are seeking from the Indian government right now?
Good evening to one and all. Everyone who is viewing us, I hope everyone is doing well. Actually, what we want from the government right now is to grant the visas for the students whose visas are gonna expire, because we cannot, during this situation, we cannot go back to Afghanistan. And if we stay without visa, we are illegal. And we students, we don't want to be, or we don't want to stay in India illegally. This is what matters to us now. And we are really, really, worried about what is going to happen next, because I'm just done with my education almost. It's only one exam is remaining. So I'm now in confusion what I'm going to do here in India, or I cannot go back to Afghanistan also.
Yeah, is your Javed, your visa is also going to expire soon?
Yes, my visa actually already expired on 5th of August, and I applied. I got bona fide letter from college. But according to the rules of Foreign Ministry or FRRO, when our course finishes, for example, I'm doing master's degree right now. My master's degree is going to be finished by month of August. Until I get my documents, only till that time I'm going to get a visa. After my course is finished, according to rules, we are not allowed to stay in India. We have to go back to our country.
So has the local, government office, External Affairs Ministry or the Passport Office told you anything of what your solution options are right now?
Right now, we didn't get any kind of solution for the problems we're rising. Neither we didn't get any notification, neither from the university, neither from the Foreign Ministry, or from the embassy. Nothing. Just everything is on hold right now, and all the students are just thinking like, what is going to happen? Everyone, what's going to happen? And everyone is in big confusion right now. Is worried, especially they're worried about their visa. And now, like, the one more thing, those students who are by self-finance here in India right now, self-finance, as you know, the economy, everything is down in Afghanistan right now. We cannot get any finance, any money from that side. And we are uphold here right now. We don't know what to do. And think of those students who need to pay even the college fee, the university fee, and they're self-finance. They don't have a scholarship. What are they going to do?
Well, how many of you, Javed, are there in Pune itself?
Mom, to rectify you, I'm not in Pune. Actually, I study in Ganga Institute of Technology and Management.
Okay.
I'm in Haryana.
You are in Haryana. You are in Kurukshetra, is it?
Yeah. Yes, Rohtak.
Rohtak.
MDU,
So, are there
University.
others from your country in that university, in that area?
Yes, so many Afghans study in Ganga Institute of Technology, which is affiliated to Maharishi Dhyana University. A lot of Afghans are there.
Okay.
And especially of my batch, my friends, my classmates, most of them, their visas are going to expire soon because our course finishes.
Yes, I remember some of them we spoke to earlier who said, either we look at another course and then get a visa or, extension basis doing a follow-up course. Javed, very quickly, also, have you been able to speak to your family back home? Are they all okay?
Yes, I've talked to them. They're all right as of now. And the only concern is I'm thinking about my sisters because, as I told you before, they're going to graduate. And everything is just like their dreams. I'm worried about their dreams, what they are going to do. They're really worried, and she's crying. Every time I talk to her, she's crying. She's telling that if I'm not allowed to go to university, if I'm not allowed to go to school, my career, my life will be ruined totally.
Yes, and I can, imagine the amount of anxiety and stress you may be going through, not knowing what's going to happen next to you, for your sisters as well. And let's hope everything falls into place. Thanks, Javed, for speaking to us again. And I hope the government
Thank
listens
you
to you
so
and comes up with a solution for all of you. Humayu is also with us. Humayu, you are studying in Delhi. And is your visa also set to expire, or has it expired? Humayu, I can't hear you. Can you try removing the earphones and then speak on this phone? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Actually, I studied in Pune. I have completed my master degree, MA course. So in April this year, so I went back to my home, to my country. But unfortunately, because of this situation, I skipped back and came to India.
Okay, so you actually came back, as the situation began to deteriorate in Afghanistan. What part of Afghanistan are you from?
I'm from Maidan Bardek province, which is almost 100 kilometers far from the main city, Kabul.
Yes, and is your family all right there?
Actually, there is the network is not working properly, so I don't know exactly, but I have contact with my friends and relatives. They are right. Yeah.
Humayu, what is your request to the government? What help do you need from the Indian government now?
Actually, we already Indian government did lots of things to Afghans, so Afghan people never forget what India did. India was one of strategic friends of Afghanistan. But nowadays, we Afghans need help. We are struggling with too many problems. So especially those Afghan students who are here, most of them, like me, which finished their course now, our visa will be expired. My visa will be expired at the end of this month. So we are requesting from Indian government to do something with the visa of these students to make this process much easier.
Okay, let's hope that happens and the government, hears the voices of all of you, so many of you youngsters studying here in our country, and hopefully we'll be able to help all of you out. Thank you so much, Humayu and Javed, both for joining me right now. So you heard voices from Afghanistan, Indians stranded there, their families literally fighting to get out of that place. Some are staying in hotels, in guest houses with absolutely no connectivity. To get into the airport is the biggest challenge of it all. Those who are in the airport are still unclear on when they will come back. And there are many more outside that the government is still collecting details about to coordinate and bring them back home safely. Then there are the Afghan students who are in our country and requesting the government to figure out how their stay can be extended. Surely we can't ask them to return back to Afghanistan at this point. Let's see what happens. We're going to take a very short break. On the other side, we bring in the experts to talk about these challenges and how should we go about it. Stay with me.